As you can see, I have a bit of a problem. Over by the airbag, I've got a crack, and that's because the little clip inside here is apparently broken. I've seen some videos online that talk about the crack. Actually, there's a lot of videos on how to fix those, but I've only seen a couple of videos that reference this, and they weren't too thorough and didn't quite answer all my questions. So I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. But as you can see, this just moves. So I'm going to take this back panel off and see what we can see. So first things first, you got to remove the two A-pillar covers, which are pretty simple. You got a 7mm on the left side and two 10mm on the right side. There's videos out there on how to do it. It's simple. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but you can see the little blue slots, if you will, that the tabs fit into. You just go to one side. I went to both sides and just worked to the middle, and you'll have a nice edge here that you can pop up and then just work it slowly across. Doing it by hand with no tools kind of keeps you from breaking the dash further. And then once it's popped up, you'll need to twist out the daylight sensor, and then it will just easily lift kind of up and out, and then it's time to look at the clip. So it looks like it's going to be a bit of a Hail Mary. I lost one of the two little pieces of plastic that I managed to find, but I drilled a tiny hole on both sides of the walls here, and I took a large paper clip, cut it down, folded it with a pair of pliers, made it so that it fit into a hole on this side and one just like it on the other side, and it travels around behind. Now I'll go get some JB weld, and I will weld the sides so they don't move, and then I'm going to try and use JB weld in a way it's not really designed to be used, but I'm going to try and mold me a replacement cross member with the paper clip as a support. And you can see I did some electrical tape down there. That was because it was a little unsupported and the dash was flopping, which is probably why it broke in the first place. So I just shored that up a little bit. Let's hope this works. Well, it may not look any different, but I took a file to it, took the high points off, tried to contour that back angle to match the existing plastic underneath there, and I think it's good enough. The way those clips work, it allows for a little bit of here and there. So the next step is to put the dash back on, and we'll see if it fits. So I was about to put my dash back together when I realized I had some more damage, some more cracks. So a little more JB weld in a couple of days, and that was fixed. And that added to the other one over by the VIN number that was also cracked that I fixed. So making sure and doubly sure that I got all the clips in the back slotted, it's now time to push the dash in. Something else worth noting, the dash was cracked there, and I was going to try and fill it with some professional thing that I'd pay lots of money for, but I opted to fill it with JB Weld, and I'll just touch it up with a little bit of paint to make it a little less visible. From the driver's seat you can barely tell it's there, and the dash isn't cracked anymore. So now, let's see if it worked. And here's the big one. Well, it clicked. So it looks like it could be tighter, but for the most part, from the driver's seat point of view, and passengers are probably similar, it looks to have clipped on nicely. Whereas before, it was sticking up and this was moving. And now that's stationary. So we'll see if the squeaking and all the annoyances that came with this are gone now. You can see there's that JB Weld for the dash, and even without any paint, it's barely noticeable compared to the crack, which was quite noticeable. The dash is back together. Pillar covers are back on. And all looks good. Now maybe I'll dust the dash. It'll look even better.